All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Mark Pena here alongside meteorologist Steve Rudin, and we've got a bit of an active weather day. Steve, we just got a tornado warning now for that. So, tracking some severe storms across the area. I'm going to be tag teaming this, going live on air with Steve on Channel 7 and Channel 8, but also going to be reporting live here as well. So, here's what we're tracking. This was just issued as we were just logging on here, but a tornado warning issued. Looks right on the border of Charles and Prince George's County right now. This is going to be, I'm going to be all over the place right now, but I'm going to be giving you the best, most up-to-date information that I can. So give me just a second here. I've got a camera here as well, so I'm going to see. Steve, just let me know when you need me. I'm mic'd up and ready to go. Okay. All right, so tornado warning right now, as far as I can tell, it is radar indicated, but it's going to be moving right along the Potomac here. And this is going to be for portions of, I believe, Charles and Prince George's County. Let's see here. Yep, Charles, Fairfax, the extreme southeastern border of Fairfax County, mostly Prince George's and Charles County. So here we are.
Severe weather once again, a newly issued tornado warning. This time it's for the metro area, at least parts of it right now, over toward Prince George's County, and this is going to continue to move off toward the northeast at around 20 miles per hour. It's a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado. Now, it does include counties like Charles and Fairfax, a little tiny bit of Fairfax County and Prince George's County. If you're watching us right now at Accokeek or Fort Hunt or Fort Washington or Piscataway in southern Maryland, in Prince George's County, I should say, this is the time that you need to seek shelter. Not a whole lot of thunder and lightning with this, but very, very heavy rain. Once again, this is moving on off toward the northeast at about 20 miles per hour, and this is going to stay in effect until 7:15. So not a terribly long-lived tornado warning, but it is going to stick around for at least another 25 minutes or so. In the meantime, we are going to continue to watch these storms as they move across the area, and that trend is going to continue for the next several hours with a tornado watch for pretty much the entire area until midnight tonight. And we are going to see those stronger storms that are going to continue to develop. Now, we have another storm that's right here, just over into Montgomery County, just beginning to lift away from Wheaton. So Wheaton and a good chunk of Silver Spring, you're now in the clear. However, if you're over toward Colesville and Aspen Hill, you are looking at heavy rain. This is not warned on. However, very well could be looking at a little bit of rotation with this cell that's just to the north of the Capital Beltway in Montgomery County, lifting on off toward the up. In which, you know it, here we are live on air, and the National Weather Service has now posted a tornado warning for that cell that I was just talking about, where we had thought that there was a little bit of rotation for it. And this is a brand new warning. It's until 7:30, and it does include Anne Arundel, Howard, Montgomery, and Prince George's County, cities of Aspen Hill, just mentioned that, Laurel, Savage, Maryland, Vansville, and over into Wheaton, Maryland. And Wheaton, you're just on the southern, southwestern corner of this, so you're going to be in the clear a lot sooner than, let's say, over toward Laurel as this continues to move on off toward the east. I'm going to query this right now and just get some more information on this warning. It's until 7:30 at 6:54. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Kemp Mill near Langley Park, moving to the northeast at just around 25 miles per hour. So not a very fast-moving storm, but also a storm that's worth watching because it is capable of producing a tornado. I want to show you a couple of live cameras for you. I'm going to load this in right over here, and we're just going to go through a few as this loads in. And this is over toward National Harbor, where we also have a stronger storm, part of that storm moving over the area with those gusty winds, those heavy downpours. Can't even see across the river over toward Old Town Alexandria and the Wilson Bridge. Here's our camera northeast DC, and also looking across the city, northwest DC, I should say, the tower camera looking across toward Connecticut Avenue, Wisconsin Avenue, and you can see the ominous clouds following that storm that right now is right over National Harbor and then over toward parts of the Port Belvoir area. Winchester, no problems at all right now. In Ray, Virginia, you're looking at cloudy skies, however, glimmers of sunshine. A lot more to get through as we head through the next couple of hours or so. But once again, we do have an active tornado warning for you. And this one is for parts of Montgomery County. And it was just issued. We were on air with it. And there you have it for you. And it's now moving off, or this cell is moving off toward the east at just around 25 miles per hour. This one right here is another tornado warning. So we have 3 tornado warnings.
Steve,
Yes, Mark's going to
focus on the Charles County one. That's pretty good in your indication of some rotation in the atmosphere. I'm on max 3. I've got max 1 on StreamYard, so it's only on your computer right now that it takes. So if you can go to the reflectivity, if there's a tornado on the ground just to the west of Akaki, is where we're going to be monitoring this right now. That rotation, this little couplet that you see, is what we look for when it comes to tornadoes. And so while this is radar indicated right now, if there is a tornado on the ground for this warning, it's going to be just to the west of Akaki and just to the north and east of Fenwick right now, traveling to the north and west. So Piscataway, Fort Washington, you're seeing this, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions, getting inside, putting as many walls as you can between you and outside, away from windows. Because if there is a tornado so far right now, this is only radar indicated. But here's our indication right here. This couplet that we see in the greens and the reds indicating that there's rotating winds in the atmosphere moving towards the north and west. And if guys, if you're on the next 3, you're going to move it just a little bit. So thank you guys. Moving to the north and west. So this is just one of 3 active tornado warnings that we have right now across the metro. But for this particular one, 76,000 people in the path of this storm. So major metropolitan areas now getting into this. So couplet right here. North and east of Fenwick, just to the west of Piscataway right now, moving to the north and east. Steve, what else are we seeing out there?
Here's the our rotation tool, and once again, it gives us a good indication where we could be looking at perhaps a tornado or a funnel cloud at that. So rotation, where you see the darker blue, we're going ahead and a little bit closer. You see Fenwick and then Strawberry Hills Estate. More than likely, that's a subdivision. That's where we did detect a little bit of rotation, but it was on the very weak side. So the darker the blue, the weaker the rotation. And at this point, we're just not seeing a tremendous amount of rotation, at least not right now. I want to show you the wider view here, and we have 3 active tornado warnings. And I know this is a lot to grasp here on the screen. Maybe you can just take this full screen so you can get a better look at it. And we'll go through each of the tornado warnings as we look at the list here that's on the left-hand side of your screen. We have a tornado warning until 7:30. That includes parts of Howard and Montgomery County. Cities involved with that, Savage and Wheaton. On top of that, another tornado warning, also until 7:30. Fauquier and parts of Loudoun County. It includes Marshall and Middleburg in terms of cities. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado possible. That includes city of Alexandria. It also includes Fairfax. Also includes Braddock Road area. So that's where we have another severe thunderstorm warning that just came out. On top of that, a final severe thunderstorm warning, and this one is for parts of Fairfax, pieces of Prince George's, and Fort Washington and the Piscataway area. That is until 7:15. So all these are set to expire by 7:30, but still another 30 minutes to go with these stronger storms that are going to be moving through the area. So we'll head in a little bit closer. I just want to break these all down for you. This right here is a tornado warning. I'm just going to turn this over so we're just concentrating on the tornado warnings here. This here is Marshall and Middleburg. This is moving on off toward the north and east at around 25 to 30 miles per hour. And we're going to continue to watch that cell as it moves on off. City of Fairfax, not under a warning, but we'll head in a little bit closer right here. And if you over toward Mantua and over toward Merrifield, also looking at very heavy rain at this time, along with those gusty winds, but not warned on them right now. Head a little bit farther down toward the south. This is south of Old Town, Alexandria. And this is where we have Mount Vernon, over toward Piscataway, across the river in Maryland, also under that tornado warning. This is until 7:15. And we're going to see this trend continue over the next couple of hours or so. What's really interesting about all of these warnings here, these are just the tornado warnings that I have here, with 3 active tornado warnings at this hour, is that you can see sort of the spin. You have one that's just the south of the Beltway, that's moving off toward the north and east. You have another one that's moving due east, and then you have another one that's moving a little bit over towards the northeast. But this trend with the severe thunderstorms, the tornado potential out there, that is definitely going to continue for at least the near future. But we do have that severe thunderstorm, excuse me, we have a tornado watch that remains in effect until midnight tonight. And I'll show you that right over here. It's a very, very large area as we pull this out. So a lot of folks are getting ready to go to Belmont the beaches right now, getting away for the holiday. Probably a good bet to hold on and perhaps do it tomorrow when things are a little bit quieter, because once these storms move on through, we're going to be looking at very heavy rain that's going to move across the area. So 3 active tornado warnings. We don't see this very often, but we were prepared for it. Right now, Fauquier, parts of Loudoun and Prince William County, and Marshall, you're just on the edge here right now. And keep in mind that these are just radar indicated. And for this one right here, I just want to see if there's any hail. We're not picking up any hail, and just a little bit of rotation right over here, just to the west of Marshall. So once again, on the very
StreamYard people, if you are watching me right now, we got a very active situation around the area. Let me see that I'm still live, and I am. Great. Let's see. I'm getting some comments here.
Very densely populated areas. This is not the time that you need to go retrieve anything that's on your roof deck or your back patio.
All right. Will Davis, thanks for watching. I appreciate your comment there. Anyways, if you are watching, we've got several tornado warnings across the area. I'm going to pinpoint these. One is going to be to the due north of the DC Metro right now, basically huddling the border of Montgomery County and Prince George's County. All of these are radar indicated. As far as we know, there's no confirmation that these are on the ground. But this is going to be moving toward Laurel and the I-95 corridor just north of the Capitol Beltway. Another one just due south of DC is going to be for portions of Charles and Prince George's County. This one here is where I'm really watching some rotation. This is going to be pretty much right over Accokeek right now, due northeast of Fenwick, right on the border there of Maryland and Virginia, moving to the north and east as well. And then we've also got one more right over here. This is going to be to the west now, just south of I-66. This is going to be for Fauquier, Loudoun, and Prince William County until 7:30, excuse me. So we got lots of things going on, lots of active weather. And if you're not under a tornado warning right now, we are all under a tornado watch, which means all of these storms have the capability and potential to turn tornadic. So if you're getting some rain at your house, make sure that you're indoors and away from windows, because again, while we have several tornado warnings around the area, most of them are not tornadic, just the 3 that we were tracking around the area. Let's see, I'm going to pull up one of our rotation products here. Biggest indication that I got is going to be just south of Fairland, Maryland. This is going to be for far southeastern portions of Montgomery County, about to move into Prince George's County here. That's for one tornado warning. Another one is going to be right down here, right over Accokeek. So if you are watching this from home in the Accokeek area, in the Piscataway area, make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions and getting inside. Let's see. Again, very isolated in terms of the tornado warnings, but we do have 3 of them that are active right now. So lots going on. Getting a lot of comments here. So let's see. Will Davis, you're just lighting up the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Tornado sirens are going off from La Plata. Okay.
Heavy rain could become very, very problematic. So wanting to view out once again 3 active tornado warnings this hour, and those tornado warnings are going to continue as we head through, depending on location, the next half hour or so. So this one right here over into Marshall and Fauquier County, a little bit of Loudoun County moving on off toward the north and east. We are going to continue to watch that. And then as we move into parts of Montgomery County and Prince George's County, the good news, I want to head in a little bit closer. You're in the clear. That's a densely populated area. No problems there. Aspen Hill, you are now in the clear, even though you're technically under the warning area. But over toward Fairland, you're looking at the tornado warning that's over here, the heavy rain. Maybe you're looking at a little bit of thunder and lightning. And then as we head into closer to just south of the Beltway, the cell that we're talking about that very well is going to impact Oxon Hill National Harbor area, active tornado warning at this hour. Mark, what do you have out there?
We were getting some comments online that there was tornado sirens going off in the Pena, so that's likely for this tornado warning moving into portions of Prince George's County. So we got our eyes on this one for sure. Beginning to get wrapped in rain a little bit, but if we are tracking the tornado on the ground, so far there's no confirmation that it's on the ground yet, just radar indicating, excuse me, it's going to be right here. That's not moved too much from the last time I was here. So it's weakened a little bit. It was a little bit more pronounced. There were some brighter greens on the north side of this coupling here, but we're still seeing the indication, which is why there's a tornado warning for this particular cell here. So we got the greens on the north and east side and the reds on the south and west side. That's indicating winds rotating with high here. And so that's why this is a tornado warning storm at this time. Piscataway, portions of far western Georgia County, if you're in the path of this, make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions right now. That does include getting indoors, away from windows, and this is the worst portion of your home. Because regardless if this is a tornado on the ground, very heavy rain, some strong winds associated with this as well. This looks like our Ronson West camera here, so that's of course Arlington right now getting some very heavy rainfall. I'm going to zoom out because I'm focusing mostly on this one. Here's a tornado warning for Wisconsin into far northern Georgia County now, and we're getting a couple here as well. So there's a tornado on the ground here, which so far is just radar indicated just to the north and almost due north now of Fayetteville, southwest of Laurel. This is again where we see the couple here, the greens and the reds really close together. That's indicating there's some rotation in the sky. This is moving towards the north and east here, so it's going to be clearly portions of the northern northern Prince George's County is where you need to make sure you're taking shelter. But what started it all, see where these storms out to the west, right now we're getting some strong winds with it, and I'm not seeing that coupled with this tornado warning. That doesn't mean you should take it seriously here as well. This is going to be from Carolina and portions of Prince William County until 7:30. So any new information on some of these warnings?
All right, so the warnings continue, and maybe the control room, if they can get us some live pictures for the Capitol building, it would be nice to take a look at that, and maybe some traffic cameras out there. We are going to see this tornado warning right over here off to the west of D.C. Middleburg, Marshall, you're all in the path of this tornado warning. I need to stress, we don't have any confirmation of any tornadoes that are actually on the ground. The Doppler radar indicated at this point. This one here is until 7:30. We have one that is also closer to the city, just south of the Beltway, and this is going to continue until 7:15. So about another 5 minutes to go. And it does look like this one is beginning to weaken just a little bit. And that indeed is good news. But if you're watching us right now, right over Fort Washington, that is where you are looking at the heaviest of the rain at this point. Now, in terms of any rotation, not seeing that, at least not right now, but we did have a little bit.
Up here.
And you can see it's that very dark
Okay.
sort of blue right there. Look at the legend. You are, yes, Mark.
Oh, no, I'm talking.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
If you look at the legend, you are looking
So
at,
let's see here, Fort Washington.
of the potential for that tornado. So,
All right, so we see this blue that we see on the map here. This is going to be indicating some rotation in the sky here. It correlates with where we have our tornado warning. So again, this is all lining up. If you are in this portion of Prince George's County, make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions. We got several of these tornado warnings around the area just north of DC on the northern side of Prince George's County, right near Beltsville. We have another tornado warning, and we're getting some rotation indicated by our rotation product here. This is going to be a very tense storm. We're starting to get some of that hook echo going on. That's going to be something that at the very tip of that hook would be where any kind of tornado is on the ground. As Steve is saying right now behind me, no confirmation of these yet, but we are getting all indications that we're at least getting some rotation in the sky. So that's why these tornado warnings are going off. A couple more tornado warnings down here.
This tornado warning, fingers crossed, will come down at 7:15. But depending on whether or not it begins to go into more unstable air where it's a little bit warmer, where they haven't had as much rain, could see this continue on. We saw that with a couple of tornado warnings earlier, and that is going to be a trend as we head through what's over the next couple of hours
Yeah.
or so. But the good news, and I look at this as being a promising sign here, is that farther off to the west, and we're talking along the I-81 corridor, things are now beginning to appear to settle down a little bit with most of the tornado warnings. They got all the tornado warnings. You see them stacked up here. And I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active warnings, at least right now, in terms of tornado warnings. They've had 6 tornado warnings. So this is a brand new one right over here. And this includes Berkeley and Morgan, not a densely populated area at all. And this is until 7:45. Of course, you can go on this one at WJLA.com to follow all of these storms. So here we have, once again, we have inside, or for the closer metro area, we have 2 active tornado warnings. This one right over here that is just to the south of the Capital Beltway, Prince George's County. It looks like the Virginia side of this storm over at Fairfax, you have now cleared out. So that is good news there. Mount Vernon, you are in the clear. Fantastic news. Piscataway, you're looking at the heavier rain, perhaps some gustier winds over your area right now, but it does look like most of this is now beginning to move outside of the warm. Just looking right here online here about the tornado warning from the emergency management in Montgomery County, and they have thus far no damage reports within the tornado warning area. So that is definitely good news. But they do say the 911 system is experiencing normal call volume. So that is indeed very good news. So normal call volume when you have a tornado warning, that's what you want on spike up. So that is good. Up here that I'm going to zoom into, and that now continues until 7:30, and activation is at Montgomery County. So we know that warning, there are no reports of any damage, at least not right now.
Okay, so good news. Still have the active warnings. Most of any kind of information, still no. What Steve just said on air is that our 911 call volume is pretty normal right now. Like that. If we see a spike, that would indicate that we're seeing a lot of damage, and one of these tornadoes could be around. So some good news there. Things are checking out. That's for the most part. We are safe in terms of confirmed tornadoes, but we still have some very active weather across the area. I want to pull up the radar and show you that while we have tornado warnings, some big time thunderstorms showing up across the entire area. DC, for the most part, in and around the Capital Beltway, just a few showers, but just to the north here, into portions of the Montgomery, Prince George's County line is where we have one tornado warning crossing out of Montgomery County, and it's a far northern Prince George's County. And again, in terms of the rotation, again, this is showing some very, very weak signs of rotation, but it's a good thing that the National Weather Service is on this, has some warning out because it lets people know in that warning to take shelter. Additionally, down here in the southern portion of Prince George's County, this is where the other warning is at this time, and getting some very weak indications of rotation here as well. So good news there. And then let's cover the one into portions of far northern Fauquier County. And yeah, this one's kind of fizzling out a little bit here as well. All tornado warnings are until 7:30. So if you are in the path of any of these, continue to take shelter and get in your safe space. So that's going to be in the innermost portion of your home, away from any kind of windows, because regardless of whether or not these are having tornadoes on the ground, some strong winds likely with some of these, and this is going to likely cause the potential for some windows to blow out. So let's see here. I have access to some of these comments here. Yeah. If anybody's watching and can safely take pictures, also you can upload those to our websites, chime in. It's a good way to do that. We still have one more tornado that is now beginning to, it looks like, move well off toward the northeast. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised, perhaps we'll move to Ellicott City, which is the one area. There it is, man. Over to look at some on Fox 45. Look at the latest information. I'm going to go tap in with Steve and help him for a little bit. vector. If you're in Laurel, yes, get to the bottom level if you can, or if you're not able to, get to the centermost portion of your third floor unit, get away from windows. That's going to be the primary concern you should have right now. Get in the innermost portion of your home away from windows. If you're able to, go from the third floor down to the first floor. Okay, I'm going to go tap in with Steve. You can watch me live right now on channel 7 and channel 8, and then I'll come back. Okay.
And the more sun that we see, the better chance for perhaps some stronger storms that are out there. But this is our camera, a tower camera, lots of rain on the lens, and we are going to continue to watch all these storms. We'll head over to Mark. He's going to give us a brief update while I get some water.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like I'm tapping on the stream on here right now. You can watch us live on Facebook and YouTube right now. So we're over there. I've got my eyes on this storm here, the southern Prince George's County storm. This is pretty much right over the Saturday time. If you are watching from this area safely, you can't let us know what you're seeing there because you're on the best eyes in the field at this point. Otherwise, this is just radar indicated. And we've also got our eyes up here towards the northern portion of Prince George's County, right now approaching Laurel at this time. And I'm just talking to somebody offline and said you're in Laurel, in the third floor of the building, and they asked if they should move to the below level. I said, yes, you absolutely do. You need to make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions if you're getting one of these warnings here, because we don't have eyes on them yet, so we're not sure if they're increasing or not. We're just using these radar signatures why these warnings are in place. So just to the west of Laurel, about to cross the I-95 corridor, it's Friday afternoon. Summer's now on the roads, and you're able to get off on your travels and some of these storms for the weekend, or just about completed for sure. That's when these tornado warnings expire. So some good news there. There's still let's see here. I guess here and there, slide.
All right, I'll help you out here, Mark. Yep. You got it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we are and looking at a newly formed tornado warning, and this will we had a tornado warning that just came out as recalibrated, and this is now for Loud and Prince William counties, and this is until 7:45. So you can see that these storms, well, they are getting warmed up. We have tested in any information. I'm looking on Slack, and in terms of the chances for to report the damage, we're not anything, and it's not right now. And just reset it. So I'm going to have you go on very quickly.
All right.
Live it up.
Yeah, live it up. So the tornado warning that we just saw here is getting out of here county, towards the spring. It's still don't look at right here. That's our radar site. Just right outside the wall is basically a Williston Airport. So if you're heading there, you're watching from there, maybe start taking some shelter away from this window. We've got a lot of windows there at all away from this window. Because as we've been finishing all afternoon and evening, these tornadoes are actually on the ground. We're just getting an indication from radar, and the radar is telling us that we got a little bit showing again here. Let's see here. Looks like it's 66 right now, maybe out of Frontier County, Rudin County. And it's Louisville's right here. Marshall is just to the west. Just right between where you're going to towards that would be where there's a tornado on the ground. If there is one, but again, this is all just radar indicated. On the ground. Again, if you are watching these, give us any kind of information. Make sure you're doing that. You can chime in on Slack or Facebook out there. That's one of four. We have another one down towards George County. This looks pretty weak. No, I haven't been continuing to watch the one in southern Prince George's County. This is showing some pretty tall signs of some radar indications here. Right over the sky, but a nice and the problem is in this morning, and it's right on the side. These would be, let's see, tornadoes tonight in super tight cover. This indication of creating from the National Weather Service and just our eyes that we were tornado is regardless of all this. Not the tornado point, what I do want to make sure that we're emphasizing here is that we all have a tornado watch, and so that means that any one of these storms has the potential to become tornadic. So that's what they're not.
All right, so speaking of that tornado watch, we'll get an update on that for you. And right now, this will come down well ahead of schedule. It's to come down from the metro area at midnight tonight, but you see nothing inside around Bellevue. Watch midnight tonight, and within that watch area, we could be looking at some stronger storms. But I should note that farther west you go, that we have storms that are actually strong, they're severe. But in terms of tornado warnings, we still have several that are active across the area right now, and that is going to be the trend. We head through, I would say, the next hour and a half mark. They're not all going to stay in the same place, but they're going to see these storms going to continue away. Now, what's interesting is that why this now we have one both a huge warning, a large rear, this one right here. It's well to the north and west of DC, over in Rudin and Morgan counties, not densely populated at all. This is now until 7:45. We'll slow down a little bit, and we'll show you another warning. And this warning here is really interesting about because it is sort of ebb and flow. We have all these follow at least one cell over this was like the fast hour to hour and 20 minutes. And not moving too fast, 25, 30 miles per hour. And this one is here, and this will eventually, and that's a big hit. However, it didn't do so. It could impact more densely populated areas. Once again, this radar indicated tornado warning. This one was also shaped before it starts in the Alexandria section of Fairfax. It's now firmly located within Maryland. And it includes Clinton, Piscataway, Fort Washington, where the original location from the storm was saved. Now that we're to the clear of Washington. So that indeed is definitely good news here. And I just want to show you our location map here. It's like a little bit of rotation. Here we are, 723 toward Pleasant Springs and Brick, familiar with Maryland. And once again, Piscataway, feels a whole lot better too. So I'm optimistic about that. Once we see that we are going to see it will expand even toward Clinton, but eventually moving outside of our country. So hopefully that will be the case there. But what's interesting is that these storms, because we have a lot of spin in the atmosphere right now, and some storms are moving east, others are moving northeast, others are moving north, and that's the atmosphere, and that's why we're getting multiple. They're popping up, and it almost looks like or mist. And if you look out here, it's the same line. You normally see with a strong cold front, you see a line, and then strong storms that move through. For those who are here, with that line that slipped on through, and that was it. That was it, nothing more. But this is an area of low pressure. It's up towards the north and west. It's spinning around. And eventually it's going to spin on out of here. And once that happens, come early tomorrow morning, Mark, that's when we think that some of it may be down to the surface. And that's why we're looking at perhaps 2, 3, 4 hours of very winds. Now it seems like sunrise. I saw some friends going upwards of 30, 40, 45 mile winds for a short period of time. They say, okay, it's not so bad, but it's saturated ground, it's problematic.
We just had a story all day before where we had a tree down over the last couple of days because of saturated soil and some gusty winds. But here's what Steve is talking about. That's how some of the storms are down here, 20 degrees at night. George County here, absolutely in the direction of the storm comes towards the west, that Oregon easterly. That's that spin. Some of these storms are producing these indicated rotations out there, which is why we have the active tornado warnings across much of our area. Now, we can have rotation in the sky, and then not a tornado, but rotation of this guy typically leads to a tree. So how he's things, but just dotting the entire landscape here with lots of heavy thunderstorms and the tornado warning there as well. But notice the clear line from about Winchester down to Harrison and Fredericksburg. After that, we see severe weather will start to come to an end. Then we'll be watching the heavy rainfall over. We've also got a flooding with this. Right over here to show you that to these forecasts exit around 8 o'clock. So we're approaching that at typically 8:30 when we start to see these points go down. We could also watch is flash flooding. This is going to be a flood watch that started now at 7 p.m. and will go through to the night. About 4 a.m. tomorrow. That's what we expect rainfall throughout the overnight. Keep in mind, we've had almost 7 inches of rain across the entire month of May, or an additional 1 to 2 inches here tonight, and that can really also conserve, especially with the things that for tomorrow morning, saturated soils, and then having an activity to ski, so water over the field at this time. So if you have it traffic tonight, maybe start to think about those sunrises tomorrow, so you can at least ski a little better. A lot of areas we've been in town, so it's been a while since we've seen water over the water. Catch up. This is also the night that we're watching. It's a flash flooding threat. So far, the radar, the rainfall amounts have been decent, but these storms are moving.
Yeah, in terms of the looking on here, I mean, we have our flood watch every day, like factors of and on top of that, we have a newly issued tornado warning. Once you know it, it's going to be interesting how many we actually calculate today. Warning, if actually will anything at all. So that's what I also find very interesting. But here's the latest for you. This one here, this week is now moving at only around 15 miles per hour. And it does include over towards Rudin line.
Okay, guys. Looks like y'all. All right. Matt Rhodes, you know what? Sorry, but severe weather does take precedent over the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm sorry. We are tracking multiple warnings across the area. I'm going to put these up. The one down here in Prince George's County, I've had my eye on pretty much all evening because it keeps showing the notorious hook echo. You can see that on radar right now. But along with that, there we go. This couplet here, whenever you see the green, the alternating colors, in this case for us, it's a green and red, really close together like that, that's indicative of rotation in the clouds. Not necessarily saying it's on the ground yet as a tornado, but that's why it's tornado warned, because it's possible. And it would be just east of Piscataway, north of Pleasant Springs, moving towards the north and east. And this has just been extended. It was supposed to expire at 7:30. It's now been extended to 8 o'clock and includes most of Prince George's County up to Rosarito and just to the north now of Naylor. That's one of multiple. Let me pull up the next one. This is going to be moving just out of our viewing area, so areas towards Baltimore, Howard County. You're going to be wanting to watch this particular cell here. It's been tornado warned in our area for quite some time. And pull up the reflectivity here. Another hook. So this is, again, the reason why it's tornado warned right now. Moving almost due north right now. So there goes the old warning, and the new warning now is going to take over for that one. Due north out of far southeastern portions of Montgomery County and northern portions of Prince George's County. And then this cell over here has been just moving and grooving. It's been with us for several hours now as a tornado warned storm. So this is approaching Dulles National Airport, Reston Town Center. You're going to be in this in a little bit, but moving into portions of Prince William County and Loudoun County for this particular cell here. Let's see if I can get some comments here. Okay, here's over here, getting those lower portions. Yeah, please.
Inside the beltway, outside the beltway, just south of that, toward the north and east, and then toward the west. But we are going to see coming up at 7:45, venting itself begin to cancel out. So the good news here is that even though we have a lot of energy in the air and is sticking at is that it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You would think here we are. It's end of May. How hot? How much?
Yeah. Some good indications here are that we're heading towards sunset. So the fuel needed for the storms to continue is dwindling. So I do expect most of these warnings to expire at 8 o'clock. We will, of course, continue to watch them very carefully. But yeah, look at that. Okay, so the one out here towards, as I mentioned, yeah. So Loudoun County tornado warning expired. Now you just have a line of storms towards you, but at least here in terms of heading in the right direction of getting some of these tornado warnings to expire. This storm here, again, about to move right out of our area, out of far southeastern Georges County, far southeastern Montgomery County, northern Prince George's County. And then I want to focus on this one here because this is going to be causing probably the most issues with us as it's just almost due center into portions of Prince George's County. It has a pretty clear hook here. So if there is a tornado, which there's no indication yet, besides radar indication, and this is the indication that we see, it's that coupling. It's those greens right next to the reds, and they tell us that there's winds rotating in the skies, saying some of the winds are going towards the radar, some of them are coming away from it, and when you put that together, it's rotating there. So this is just to the north now of Brandywine, southwest of Rosarito, and almost due east of Piscataway. So if you're in this area of Prince George's County, take your tornado shelters, get inside, away from windows, centermost portion of your home, first floor. If you're not able to get on the first floor, just get as many walls between you and outside as possible with this particular storm here. I'm gonna go back over here. Stuff and things asking for only. Let's see. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, if you're watching from only, I think you're in the clear. That's going to be moving away from you at this point. Yeah, if there's a tornado on the ground for Montgomery County, it's south and east of you and moving away from only. So let's see here. Stuff and things. If you're in only, you're in the clear. People are asking about Baltimore. Check out WBFF. They're our sister station. They're going to be monitoring these storms moving out of the DC area and into the Baltimore area. So definitely give them a watch. I do expect most of these to be weakened, though, because as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the fuel needed for these storms to continue is beginning to wind down as the sun is setting and going to pretty much start to fizzle out. But we still also have a flash flooding threat, and I do want to bring that up really fast. Let's see here. It's going to be there we go. So after this round of severe storms, flood watch is in effect now, 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. tomorrow. So keep that in mind, especially if you have a travel plan on the roads tonight, as some roads might be covered with water, and you might not be able to tell as easily as you could during the daytime. So I'm going to sit back out, talk to Steve, and do some WJLA stuff on air and come back. But if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you here just in a minute. Get some water.
Very, very, very easy. And that is definitely good news in terms of hail. We did have a small hail mix, but there's really not a whole lot that's out there, at least not right. Mark, you have an update for us? Yeah, right.
Okay, no, just the overall trend is that we're losing a fuel need for these storms to continue, so that's good. So far, no confirmation that these tornadoes have actually hit the ground, so good news here. Just very active, but not a short course of moving through the area this time. So let's just see. Updates this morning, so we're getting good most of them down. So I'm going for short county. And decently displayed hook here. So with this storm that's also concerned with the policy. With reflectivity here, so this is going to be, here's a tornado. This continues to show that here the worst of the going on outside, it's safe. And also, again, safely give us some kind of information about where you're skiing. This portion of that this has been one of the most indicative storms of the community there. I like to see the population going down. Steve, this was supposed to be 100,000 people earlier, 24,000 now. And as far as we know, these are the ground, so that's always good news. You have rotation parameters here.
Yeah, I have that on here right now on Max 2, and there's not a lot. And I just did a storm report across the area, and I'll tell you about a little bit of wind. And I had to find one for the metro area or for Southern England. But the technology that we have today, we could look at southeast Florida, and we knew that it was going to be an accident afternoon, excuse me. And that's exactly what's happening right now. But looking here at now we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warnings, and this one right here about, and this is for Jefferson and Lobby, and tornado possible once again. That's what when you see these red stripes, that indicates that potential for tornado, and we give extra close attention to storms like that because the rotation could become more defined. And often we have a radar on the scan that scans the sky, goes around and around, and you get one scan, there's some rotation, and it goes away. Another scan, and you get more rotation. So that's basically what we're looking at the control. That not every scan as it's moving around is getting the rotation. We're seeing that rotation, but when rotation becomes consistent, that's when you often see an issue that's Doppler radar indicator. And it doesn't mean that it's not a problem. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be big. It just the Doppler radar has gone around several times that have consistency that could be.
Despite all the warnings we've had, we're looking here in terms of additional something like this. This is like the Meadow Tree, portion of West Virginia, down towards the south 191 Broadway. You got some big trees there, and these come in pretty quickly. So in the metro, looking here, but this does not mean that we're in the clear to do that. We do have a storm moving through at very saturated soils, and throwing some gusty winds with any given thunderstorm, and it can bring down some tree limbs out there. So be very careful with that. All days today, because of our orders, before as we out in the neighborhood where some trees went down this week. So
Over at Falls Church.
Yeah. So this is that we're watching now too. As these tornado warning expire, and just watch the short be involved in something. And over here on my computer, I see myself on a one. I'm working over here. Next to this part, just and as far as I'm concerned, in and around that we've been screened by just light to moderate rain.
Yeah, there has yet to be a. I'll say this because it's say. Thank you. Nothing inside the bubble. So great news there. So that is a positive side. But we do have several severe or warnings out there. And I'm going to this sort of hand off from the tornado warnings that we have, and it's kind of the thunderstorm warnings, and to break them down for you. Because there's still more action out there. And, over toward Manassas, Warrington, you can see the box that is shaded together. And there's a 60 miles per hour Manassas Park. It includes Culpeper, Fauquier, and Prince William counties. And this one also moving off toward the northeast and the north. It's a big one. My goodness, a lot of real estate on that one. And that includes parts of Berkeley, here, Jefferson, Raleigh, Washington counties, Leesburg, Martinsburg, Sterling, or Sugarland Run. You're looking at some severe winds, and there's a potential radar indicated possible tornado. Once again, as I mentioned, the radar goes around, something up in terms of location going on. Yeah, doesn't pick it up. Consistency is just not there enough that there could be perhaps some rotation and over toward the Maryland and Pennsylvania border, up toward Hancock, of course, 70 is a very busy. For those of you who travel from Eastern to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, on your way to Eastway, Eastway 270, looking at thunderstorms right now, but nothing that is turned really good. But I want to show you what tornado are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it right here. So that one, that one's also like ebb and flow over the last hour or so. It's not off degree. Now I would not be surprised if this actually makes its way over toward Ellicott City. Heavy rain, and you just see that in Ellicott City, and the flooding they had many. Yeah, so watch once didn't get that in Baltimore, friends and family. I love to see. We had these two other cells or clusters that were worn down. We had this one right as going to be white, and Prince County, Rosary, and we'll zoom in a little bit closer. And in terms of cities, I mean, it's just Rosary organizations. And not extensively populated when you go over toward Prince George's and Clinton, Maryland. And the good news over here, this is a whole lot better in terms of more that's on the wall. It's at least
Steve, you were just talking earlier, it was almost a year to the day. We had actual confirmed tornadoes on the ground through our period. So that's what we're going to place here is that this time last year, almost the day, these tornado warnings had observed tags on them. So these are complete. We had no increases in the down, but for the most part, we're not going to get these long-term tornadoes that you would see in the Midwest or even like we saw almost a year ago today. I believe it's June 4th, June 5th.
We had a tornado emergency.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first ones. I've been there a long time. But I haven't seen that long time.
So just to kind of differentiate, if you were here last year for that, those clips, most of my county so almost a similar setup, but in terms of confirmation on the ground, this is not the case. We just have rare indicators and that's the reason for those in the sky, and whether or not translation damage continues to be determined. But what we're seeing here as well is a lot of rain release, a lot of lightning events, rainfall as well on top of severe saturated soil. So as these storms begin to wind down, there's some very heavy rainfall that we're watching in the next several hours. We are still watching the threat for some flash flooding tonight. We do have a flood watch that has gone into effect now until 4 a.m. tomorrow. So we're watching to see how much additional rainfall we see. But again, we've been talking to this so that's good. We don't like to sit over some period for a long time. So, like, yeah, the two which are both I'm like, we're okay right now, but it may take quick.
Yeah, and we do have a just been issued on August 2, and this is now for so, a ways away, but still a viewing area technically. Includes Montrose and then counties of Richmond, well south of South Maryland. So the focus still continues to be on parts of Prince George's County. That also heavy rain. And this is what we're talking about, is that the heavy rain might not necessarily be worn out in the morning. Here's what I mean. When you see the yellows and reds and oranges, and I'm just go back in time here, you can see how, look at that, heavy rain goes on and on and on. And, probably that we're going to head through in the next several hours. That we will get rid of the tornado outlet. That we're going after some hundreds of rain. And still have some
all right. Let's see. Okay, so after doing a little bit of on-air work, for the most part, these storm severity is winding down. So that's a quick little radar tour here of what I was tracking over there, and that's that these warnings are beginning to move out. I'll start with the one moving out of Montgomery County. This is just on the edge here of Montgomery and Howard County. But take a look at the camera here. Really dark skies over in Laurel. So if you are watching this from Laurel, take precautions, get inside, get away from windows, and get into the centermost portion of your home while these storms are moving on through. But thankfully, as I mentioned too, they're moving away from you for the most part, and into portions of Howard County. So you're in the good there. Let's go down to the next one. And this is going to be for eastern portions of Prince George's County moving into Anne Arundel County. This storm has pretty much just become a big cluster now of storms in terms of velocity. Still tracking a couplet there, so that's pretty indicative of rotation in the sky. Whether or not this has touched down yet as a tornado is something that we still have to take seriously and just wait. So if you're into Bristol, if you're along if you're in Upper Marlboro, you're on the very edge of this particular warning. And then, of course, as we head towards the north side of Annapolis, excuse me, be very mindful of this. This is going to be riding right along Highway 50 as well. So travel along that. Have friends and family traveling along that roadway. Be very careful that they're taking these storms seriously. Other than that, we were talking to, for the most part, in and around the Capitol Beltway, showered across the area. So if you are in the district and you're watching this, you're probably wondering what storms, what tornadoes. So good news there. If we're going to have these, we want them as far away from the densest portions of any kind of city as we can. And for the most part, that's looking to be the case. We do have some severe thunderstorm warnings out along the 270 corridor. This is moving towards Frederick County, Montgomery County, again, but for the most part, these are not tornado warned. The red lines that we see indicate that a tornado is possible, but that's less than a tornado warning. We're going to focus on just the severe thunderstorm aspect of these warnings as they approach the 270 corridor. So that's something that we're watching. And then we're not in the clear yet, even though it looks like it. You'll see that we do have a lot clearing from the rain off to the west. But I'm going to pull up one of our models here and show you that while we're in the clear right now, we got some more rain likely on the way tonight. And this could be heavy at times, especially as we head from around midnight to about 4 a.m. With saturated soils, an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, we could see some flash flooding with this overnight. It's very difficult to see water over the roads at night. So if you happen to be traveling, just be very careful along those low water crossings. Those areas tend to swell after heavy rains like we're seeing right now. Good news here is that we are seeing clearing by tomorrow morning. Another round of some spotty showers tomorrow afternoon. I think for the most part, the severe threat is really low for tomorrow, but lots of thunder, gusty winds, briefly hit rainfall possible for your Saturday afternoon. But as we head towards Sunday, finally in the clear. We're looking at sunnier skies and comfortable temperatures. Highs will be in the 70s for your Sunday. Let's see. Checking in on some of these comments here. Let's see. Okay. Getting people talking about. Okay. Let's go to. Nope.
Just because we're seeing these tornadoes up there, we have yet to have anything that has been. I don't believe.
You good, Steve?
So I take that as a fantastic sign.
Okay.
As we head through this evening here, because they have a lot of calls.
Yeah. So we're getting word that the National Weather Service is indicating that overall 11 calls are coming in at a normal rate. That's a good indication that they were spiking right now. That would possibly hopefully mean that we're getting some damage reported across the area. So some good news there. These are the active warnings now that we have across the area. All these are moving away from I-95 into of the Delmarva, over the bay, and towards Baltimore. So some good news there. I do think this is southeastern portions of Montgomery County. I think you're in the clear now. This tornado warning storm is pretty much mostly into Howard County. Still want to be watching in this Prince George's County, central portions of Prince George's County. Be very mindful that you have an active tornado warning. Radar indicated only. But regardless of whether there's a tornado on the ground or not, some very heavy rainfall moving across the area as well. And this is going to be showing some weakening in terms of the rotation. So some good news there. I just saw Steve look around, so I'm going to go check and see if he's okay. I'll be right back.
And we appreciate you watching along as we cover all these tornado warnings. And the timing is not ideal on Friday evening, but we are going to see a lot of these warnings continue to move on out of here. And we just need to get through the last batch of severe thunderstorm warnings that are just off to the west of us. Mark?
No, this is just monitoring the extremely storms and the tornado warning are moving out of the area, so that's some good news there. This one here into eastern portion of our area coming over towards pretty much in the Caribbean now, so this is mostly into Howard County, moving up towards Ellicott City, so be mindful of that. I know a lot of our area overlaps, so traveling up towards Howard County, no people in Howard County. Be very careful, make sure that we're aware of this. We have our sister station WBFF front lines as well. And then my eyes have been on this Georgia County storm for quite a while because that will be the strongest, but it's one of the more active tornado warnings with a high population, 12,000 people. You see, make sure that you're taking this seriously, especially in areas along if you're having 50 corridor, if you're in the outer edges of this particular warning. But this is also one of the storms. It's showing the notorious radar couple here. These grades really close to the red. It's indicating that these winds are rotating in the sky. Whether or not they are predicting a warning or not is to be determined, but that's why we got to take this as there is one because we just see what's up in the sky at this time, and it's moving towards cities like Rudin, Mount Calvert, just south and east of Marlboro. So this is something that you got to take very seriously and get weather conditions on the ground. We have very heavy rainfall from this, a lot of lightning, and we are very saturated across the area. So it doesn't take much additional rainfall to cause flash flooding. Some other creeks, stream that's in the swell that's been going off behind those areas, especially in the water crossing. Because it's pretty production. And it's moving, this is mostly moving now into portions of Anne Arundel County, and a National Weather Service in California now, which Georgia's so that's
So I do want to show you as we head over to Max 2, the storm tracks. This is a an idea of where these storms and how it goes. Some are moving north, and others are moving northeast. Others are moving east. Now they're moving more consistent, moving your way to the northeast. And it's good news because then these are getting out of here, and that is what we definitely want to see head through the next hour or so is to have things just slow down, but we are going to be looking at a lot of wet weather that's going to be across the area. So here's, and I want to call it here. There it is. Yep. So here it is. We'll head in a little bit closer. And once again, this is spring. This is a reason why I like hold off. Flash flood warnings means that what is actually occurring. It doesn't mean necessarily that you have waves and waves of water. It just means that there are some reports that perhaps some creeks are now to the banks and some rivers are now swelling. But this is until 11 o'clock and a flash flood. That it's actually happening right now. It's not something that you're watching for, that we're warning you on. It's happening right now, and it includes the area. It includes 100,000 people. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have 150,000 people who are all experiencing flooding right now. But rural, savage, or toward so looking at that flood. good news, I will say this is fantastic news, at least so far, is that the slow moving storms that we've had that have produced those tornado warnings, or thunderstorm warnings, that we don't have significant amounts of flood or woods to share with you. And that's good news. But some of these schools here are moving so like 15 miles per hour and producing rain. And thankfully, some of these cells have been closer to, let's say, the river where a lot of the runoff can just do that, just run off. But I do want to show you tornado warning. Looks like we have 4, and I'll just go over 4 of them when we toss them at the thunderstorm. So here's one here. It's going to expire. Good news here. I'm just looking at the clock, 8 o'clock. Perhaps it's going to continue to the northeast, and that will be firmly out of our viewing area. At that point, we have another one that's going to expire 8 going to eventually move over to our shady side. We have another one right here that's also going to, I have a feeling, right there, 8 o'clock. That's going to go. So it looks like once we get through 3 minutes from the hour, we are going to pretty severe thunderstorm in our tree area. No monsters, no action. That's going to go to APT.
But I think the warning goes into that's across your county. So Annapolis Highway 15, be very mindful. This storm, all the radar indicated that the sign has been confirmed. But I want to point out some of these rainfall we have that flash flood warning, which is pretty much the same area as this tornado warning, is that we can have radar estimates of about 3 inches of rainfall. So this is exactly where this flash flood warning is. Rainfall estimates 2.6 inches in the last hour. So that's pretty impressive. That's why that flash flood warning is there. And as you mentioned, 131,000 people this morning doesn't mean that everything there is but it also just tells us there's a higher concentration of light to run across some roads, some swellings of the street. That's just to the southwest of Savage, but even up along this area, 2 inches, almost due west of the right along just north of Savage, so again, very careful with your driving out there. It's a Friday evening. A lot of people want to get out and enjoy the evening. I think it's pretty useful. A little bit of a break. Rainfall that we're doing tonight arise. I do want to point out this area about the shore. It says Steve was talking about these are folks in highlights. There's the one Rankin County up there, Montgomery County, and these radar indications. It's possible, but no one just yet. At least we want to take this is to continue to take all these years. You're always watch media and turn dramatic at any moment. So that's what we got to take these historical secrecy approaching the 2-7 corridor. We've been talking about ABC, TC, the district, and around the Capitol Beltway. We're just a few spotty showers. So there, down towards Fairfax. Good spotty showers. So Fairfax.
And I look at your radar, and the good news is that our future casts, we have forecast trends, moderate, and moderate forecast trends. Not terribly conversation, I get that, but it's the tools that we use here every day. And usually, when things work out, we're going to see for the most snow or the heaviest rainfall, and when it comes to hurricane season, officially begins our hard to believe end of this weekend. So things are definitely coming. This right here is one of our forecasts, and it's a high resolution. And here we're going to I look at this mark and I say it's pretty good in terms of what's actually going on out there right now, and in terms of those stronger storms. And if there's any good news, if this trend continues, let's go to 9 o'clock. Showers and storms. 10 o'clock, we begin to see 11 o'clock. There's more rain. And even though we have more rain, we're not expecting to see severe weather that through the area as we head into early tomorrow morning. That very well could a good chance for
All right, tagging back in over here. Let's see. So we've had tornado warnings expire, so that's good news there. I'm going to go over those right now. One moving out of Montgomery County towards Howard County, that one has expired, so some good news there. The one in central portions of Prince George County has expired as well, so this is just about to move out of Prince George's County into Anne Arundel County. So regardless, it's a big cluster of thunderstorms as well, so be very careful along the Highway 50 corridor, heading out towards the bay. The weekend, I know a lot of people are trying to get out. Just wait till these storms move on out, and you'll be in better shape. We still have more rain in the forecast later on tonight. And the reason why we are expecting more rain is because our models continue to show a pretty good indication that while we get some severe storms now, here comes some more heavier rainfall. Between around midnight, about 4 a.m. is when we're expecting these next rounds of showers. Overall, the severe threat is low. After this round moves on out, this midnight to 4 a.m. round is maybe just a heavy rainfall. Our soils are extremely saturated, so that's why the flood threat is there, because any additional rainfall at this point definitely poses that threat for some flash flooding. As we head towards tomorrow morning, another little break before some more spotty showers throughout the day tomorrow, and embedded thunderstorm possible. Severe threat, though, not compared to what we're seeing today. So that's why tomorrow you'll see a few spotty showers, but then not in the clear until about Sunday. Sunday's your better day to be outside for the weekend. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the mid-70s. And some water. Yeah. People are asking here in the comments. Let me see if I can get to some of these. Let's see. Oh, cool. Okay. Heidi Laverne, thanks for sending the video. I'll make sure our producers find that. Yeah. Okay. Good deal. No, not forecasting. Storm track. Okay.
But the good news is that at this point, this tornado is going to go at 8:15.
Let's get there. Okay.
So at the severe thunderstorm warning over toward Hagerstown and then Hancock. These are 8:30. These at Pennsylvania.
All right. For the most part, I think Prince George's County we're in the clear. I know a lot of our areas overlap, so in Rudin County, if you're watching from there, be very mindful that this storm is in your direction. It's warned for another 11 minutes. I read that math in my head. Another 11 minutes. The trend is that these storms are weakening, though, so that's good news there. They're losing most of the energy needed for them to sustain themselves. So I do expect these to weaken in terms of the severe aspect. Still going to expect some heavy rainfall, some thunderstorm activity, gusty wind, but the severity of it all winding down. Let's see, we got some cameras so that I can point out here. Dulles should be clear. Yeah, look. Getting some sunshine out at Dulles. And Leesburg, probably. Yeah.
We're going to pull up a camera from Dulles. And,
Yeah.
Here's a pretty picture.
Yeah.
And that's on Max
1. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a little bit of sun for Dulles. And I'm going to give you a little tour on some of our cameras out there. We're still drawing to a close, and at some point here, we are going to wrap this up, and we would love to have social pictures sent to us to help us out. We would love to have that. And it would be fantastic. If you have any damage, although you want to have reports of any damage, so that is indeed good.
Yep. Hold on. Over here on social. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting the clear in line. So that's lining up with our forecast. I know that you mentioned that as we plan out the rest of our nights after this round of severe storms, we are going to be monitoring the wraparound moderate to heavy rainfall overnight. And could we see some heavy downpours? Yeah. Could we see 1 to 3 inches of rain? I'm not thinking so, Steve. We'll of course need to make sure that we're being very careful tonight, especially on the roads. But these showers, these storms from this evening have been moving, so that's some good news. If these were sitting over the same areas over and over again, then we'd have some issues with flooding. But um, at least this first round isn't necessarily setting the stage for some major flash flooding overnight. So that we're going to have to continue to watch.
And also, perhaps I missed this.
Oh yeah,
Severe thunderstorm.
yeah,
I think when we were in our coverage with Coast Rim,
yeah.
that we had parts of it shaped off. So Hagerstown no longer under the tornado watch, excuse me. And this area here,
The tornado watch has been shaved off, so that's some good news there.
and I do suspect this area
Yeah.
for another 4 hours.
Yeah, I think once this round of severe storms moves out, that we'll likely see the tornado watch expire for us early as well. But yeah, I'm mic'd up twice over here, so let's see. Let's see. Some people turning in. We've got, let's see.
Mark is on StreamYard right now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I'm streaming right now on YouTube and Facebook. So if you just search at 7 News on either one of those platforms, you can watch us live there. And I'm on our web camera though, so you won't necessarily get the coverage that we're getting on air right now on Channel 7 and Channel 8. But I've been going back and forth here, talking to people, getting some reports in. We're getting just some wind out in Waldorf at this time, pouring rain in Martinsburg. That was about 20 minutes ago. Some lovely comments coming in from some people, but for the most part, just some helpful tips of people corroborating what we're seeing on radar.
so, things are really starting to come out. And I am going to say at this point that we are going to transcend operator.
Yeah.
And in terms of the tornado warnings that are moving away from the area, and you can see many locations are looking at their skies. We are going to post a StreamYard online daily.com, and make sure that we see additional warnings pop up that are impact densely populated areas of the district or areas that or some tornado on the ground. We will break that in, and we appreciate you watching and we're sticking around. Many of appears to be safe. That our entire web team wants to get. We can sign off right now.
Cool. Yeah, mine is too. I'm still live over here. We just went off air on Channel 7, and we're going to do the same thing here online. For the most part, the severe threat is down. We haven't had any reports yet of any confirmed tornadoes, so that's some good news there. Getting some additional showers and storms moving into Fairfax County, which will likely be into portions of the district here shortly, but no warnings with these at this time. And I don't think that we'll see more after the ones that are active right now. The atmosphere is just pretty much spent in terms of its energy supply. We're going to get a little bit of a break, but I do want to make sure that we're continuing to remember the flash flooding threats. That's likely to happen later on tonight with additional rainfall between about midnight and 4 a.m. Otherwise, thanks everybody for joining in. I know it's back and forth a lot. We're trying this new workflow here of being live on air and live online. So let us know how we did. Let us know if this is something that is something that you would watch, and we'll keep it up whenever there's severe weather coverage. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll keep you up to date with the latest in terms of any more additional showers, storms, and severe weather.